Camera.
Hey.
Well, hey there. Thank you so much for coming back to Sarita Talks. We got some familiar faces with us. Keenan Hudson. Keenan out of PA, who was so very welcoming and also gave me an invitation to be on my first nationwide broadcast. So thank you, Keenan, for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Sarita. I know we've been waiting for this moment for a very long time, and
Yes, we have.
we finally got around to it.
That's
But thank you so
right.
much.
Like my little show's important too. Well, you know
Absolutely.
what? We really have some good things we want to say. I want to thank whoever is tuning in. I see that we got somebody who's already looking at us, and I want to tell you what we really want to get at is by any means necessary. Had a great conversation earlier with a friend of mine, Mataka Ascari, about Malcolm X. And I really feel like a lot of people who get out and do the right thing and who are out here in this society navigating and refuse to lose, they might not know it, but they're doing it by any means necessary. Keenan, we've
Mhm.
shared a lot of stories on our
Yeah,
shows back
yeah.
and forth about
Mhm.
how that applies to us. So
Mhm.
take us back to coming out to the
Mhm.
apartment and making it happen.
Wow, wow. That's a good topic right there, by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like even standing back just a little bit within the prison,
Hmm.
you had to have the mindset that by any means necessary, I have to survive and stay out of this place.
That's right.
So with all of that, that we all had some sort of plan, but we know that
Hmm.
all plans are subject to change at times.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, me coming home, fortunately, I was able to come home to a basement efficiency, you
Hmm.
know, which it was something, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
by any means necessary, I had to survive. And
Hmm.
if living in the basement efficiency that had a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, running water, electric, you know what I mean? That that was something to work with. Sarita, I was
Yeah.
grateful. You know what I
Amen.
mean?
And
So
it
by
wasn't a
any
sell.
it wasn't a sell. So by any means necessary,
That's
I was
right.
I was really determined to stay out of prison. And if it
Mhm.
meant having the bare minimum, by any means necessary, that's what I
Absolutely.
had to do.
And that's like you wrote a book, you have your own, you know what I'm saying? But when you
Mhm.
come out, we have these thoughts in our mind. But I used to tell women all the time, don't have unrealistic expectations and know that you're going to have to put in the work. And I said it
Yeah,
all the time. I worked like I just came to this country with the clothes on my back
yeah.
because that's really all I had. And you
Mhm.
might come out to a family that is not supporting you. You might come home with no money. You might come home with
Mhm.
no clothes. Let me tell you who became a mean thrift store shopper is me. I
Yeah.
found the things that I needed and I patched it by to make it happen. Because at the end of the day, you have your higher power, but you also have to put in the work. So tell us a little bit about the work and
The
uh, and
work.
and your keyboard.
Yeah, yeah. So putting in the work, just in general, um, as you just mentioned, some people come home to families and things like that, which I believe it doesn't teach you how to start from the bottom, from scratch.
Mhm.
And so I had to work from the bottom, starting working at a daycare. I was security and maintenance there.
Okay.
But
I bet those
again,
kids
it was
loved you.
yeah, yeah, the kids. Hey, Mr. Kid. Oh, he's a giant. You know what I'm saying?
Do it.
Kids just say anything. Oh, he's a giant. Oh my God. You know, but it was excellent. It was an excellent experience, but I was learning at the same time. So crawling before I can walk. I'm a firm believer that rock bottom is gonna teach you lessons that the mountaintop can't.
True.
So, if you had everything handed to you all your life, you're not going to learn to appreciate when you have nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to learn to appreciate the little. So, what happened was I was just moving forward in life. I was working minimum wage. It was something, always had something. I encourage people all the time. Always have something coming in, no matter if it's 7.25 an
Yeah.
hour, if you got to go flip McDonald's burgers, things will open for you. You never know who you may connect with through a drive through, who you may connect with coming at that casual. You don't know. So,
Yeah.
so I had to grind hard. it was tough, but I got the bills paid. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
kept it was food in the fridge. You know what I mean? So there's always a way. We have a privilege, here in America, to whereas if you don't have enough, you're able to get food stamps. If you don't have enough, you're able to get Obamacare. If you don't have enough, there's
Mm-hmm.
plenty of food shelters, and there's plenty of I started to say chow halls, but there are food banks out here.
There are food
Oh
pantries.
yeah,
There's soup
yeah,
kitchens.
food
Yeah.
kitchens. There you go. So that was going, and I just said, I said things are going to get better. Then before you know it, I started working in different places, trying out different things. Then when I noticed that my salary or my wages started doubling and tripling, I knew
Mm-hmm.
things were working out. And at that time, it was like I think I got my first 1999 Chevy Lumina car,
Okay.
first little
Yeah.
car. It was something that was used. I bought it off somebody, I think my uncle's friend or something like that, and it was something that I was grateful for.
Yes.
'Cause, I mean,
Yes.
I was wearing my suits. I was wearing my suits and tie. That's how grateful I was. I was
Yeah.
wearing my suits and ties because now at this time I started teaching music. Now I have to get the music and I play piano, the
Mhm.
keyboard, and things like that.
Yeah.
I read it, write it, teach it.
Yeah.
So I started teaching kids private lessons. I started teaching them private lessons, and again, that was another side hustle that had money coming in. So with
Yeah.
that being said, so I was learning to manage my money. I was growing, wasn't really focused like strongly on like trying to get in relationships and things like that because I knew that
Mhm.
if I were to get in relationships, it would throw my pattern off mentally.
Your
You know
focus.
what I mean? It did come, like I said, it came later, I was going on
Mhm.
dates left and right, things like that. But when I had to zone out on that focus, by any means necessary, if you know what can probably throw you off, you really need to stay focused and shy away from that
Absolutely.
until you're ready and you're
Absolutely.
prepared for it. So that's what happened, Sheree. I started, like I said, I had side hustles and I started working, moving up in rank, so I finally realized that when people try to say, hey, oh, felony, if you had a felony, you would never get a good job and things like that. I come to find out that's like the biggest lie in the book.
That's
So,
right. You have to
mhm.
work harder to get that good job for
Yeah.
the most
Oh,
part.
yeah.
But when you get it, they're so satisfied and happy at the person that they've helped you become. That's what my experience has been. That,
Mhm.
hey, we're glad that we gave this person a chance. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times the people who are coming off the street, they don't have that same work ethic. They don't have that same gratitude
True.
that we do.
That's true. And like you said,
Yeah.
and us coming home, us being energized, from walking the track, working out, and
Hmm.
we have a lot of energy. People out here just sit around all day, just like
Yeah.
they expect things to just be handed to them. And it's like,
Yeah.
nah, we gotta go get what we need. You know what I mean? We have to, it's like the art of survival,
Yeah.
out
And
here
no
because
one's going to do it for you.
nobody's
No
gonna
one's
hand you
going to.
anything.
Yeah, and that's you know what that even it transcends to even if you haven't been incarcerated, you cannot depend on someone else to do the things for you to make you happy, to make you money, to make you successful as far as your social. You have to get out and make friends. You have to get out and make money. You have to get out, and it's a conscious decision to make yourself happy. And I feel like a lot of times, would you agree that gratitude plays an important part in the work that we do?
Mhm. Yeah,
Grateful and
yeah,
thankful that
that's
I'm
it.
able to touch people's lives if they let me, if they listen to what I hear, I hope that they're uplifted. That
That's
and
right.
the kids say that we were in the mud. I was underneath the mud. I was dirty, hadn't even got wet yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it was terrible. It was terrible. And look at where we're at
Mm.
now.
Yeah, people don't know, like you say, the gratitude, being thankful and grateful, even just to
Mhm.
breathe the fresh air out here. And then you can't
Yeah.
even say it's fresh. You can't even say it's fresh air because when you behind bars and you walk on these tracks, you're surrounded by a bunch of trees and mountains. So you're getting the fresh aerobics. Out here in the city, you're getting a lot of the polluted air, the gas, the
Mhm.
fumes, and people smoking cigarettes and weed. And you know what I mean?
Oh
You start
yeah.
beginning to cough. Like, why am I coughing? Because of all this pollution in the air.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
That's right.
So, and it's a lot because even going to food intake, we
Mhm.
came from an environment where a lot of things were controlled portions.
Yeah.
The controlled portions. Now here you have a variety. You can eat whatever you want. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us used to
That's
say,
my
yeah,
problem.
you know what I'm saying? You see me. I mean, I still got my muscles, but but
Mm-hmm.
I got fat. I gained a
It's
lot of
because
weight,
we've been deprived.
and we've
You
been
know, we've
deprived
been
a lot.
deprived. That's my excuse.
Yeah.
So you can use it
But
too.
the reason why I might say that it actually is not deprivation because they actually gave us probably the right amount of calories in which a person is supposed to have.
That's in
Technically,
Pennsylvania.
in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, as
that's
far as
where you're at.
the dietary, yeah, that but oh yeah, so yeah, probably just to be fair,
Yeah.
I don't know because I know they treat people differently because when I went from the crazy thing is when I went from Pennsylvania down to Virginia on out of state transfer, they
Mm-hmm.
actually fed us less down in Virginia than they did in Pennsylvania. But
Yeah.
so I don't know. Like, I mean, that's one thing we complain about, but out here when you had this variety, you
Oh
lose
yeah.
count of the calories you take in, you lose count of the calories that you burn.
Mm-hmm.
Out here, you got to work those 8 hours. They're not going to lay you in, for
Yeah.
work out here and still pay you. You're not going to be on no GLP.
Yeah, well,
So
we had lay-ins, but let me just touch back on the food and all that. Like, just to get out and have options
mhm.
is, I'm not going to say it's a hindrance because I love the food when it goes in my mouth. I don't so much love what it produces. However, I love that I have the opportunity that if I want to go run around my neighborhood at midnight, I can. I'm in a safe neighborhood, but I can go outside and do those things. So people just don't even realize, just having the simple choice that after work tonight, I'm going to go and lift some weights in my room. You'll never find a weight in a room in a
Mm,
cell. That's not going to happen.
mm,
But, I feel like
yeah,
this too, when you approach life with these are the things I get to do
good to
instead
do.
of these are the things that I have to do. You
Have to
want to talk a
do.
little bit about that? Because you get
Well,
to do
things
some
that you
awesome
have
things.
to do. Yeah, yeah. So, like you said, reverting back to the things that you have to do, like standing up for count, wearing a certain
Mhm.
uniform,
Yep.
uh, you know, being told to go to your cell when go to your hut,
Hmm.
whatever, versus freedom.
Yeah.
You have so much freedom. Like sometimes you don't even know what to do. Sometimes I'll be like, dang, like, what should I do? Like,
Let me
mhm.
just ask you this. Do you ever feel like you should be doing something? Like, I have free time. What should I be doing? Keenan, let me tell you what I used to tell my friend, and she used to have to tell me, we're relaxing. That's what we're doing. We're relaxing because we're so used to making the most of every
Yeah,
minute
every
that you have to
minute.
tell yourself to relax. So that's what everybody in the
Yeah,
audience should be aiming for. You
yeah.
are so productive. You are so focused. You are so driven. You're not letting anything distract you that when you have a spare moment, remind yourself, this is my time to relax.
This is my
Sound
time to
good?
relax. You got a
That's
good
right.
point. That's a
That's
good point.
right. So tell me
Mhm.
some of the fun things that you've got to do as far as working and your music, because you put out some really
Mhm.
inspirational things I want to touch on.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I did, like I said, I've been focused like with the music, so I play different places, different venues, different styles. Play at the churches on Sundays. I
Hmm.
launched a book, which is a great thing. I actually got a couple more books on my desk here that I'm going to be launching pretty soon. But I'm just trying to
Nice.
make sure things are done in the right timing.
Hmm.
Oftentimes we may have things that we have lined up and want to do, but sometimes it's a time and place for everything.
That's right.
So again, with the timing thing that's going to come, I have that. I'm speaking different places. This
Nice.
actually spoke yesterday. Speaking with the DOC. Actually, it was like 6 different departments came together from 6 different. I think it was Connecticut, New York, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Um, I'm talking about I think California. It was like 6 different departments came together and actually
Nice. Department of
allowed
Corrections,
people.
DOC.
Yeah, DOC. Yeah, that was very powerful, and I'm forever grateful because again, I remember years ago where I started out doing just little motivational videos.
Hmm.
And the crazy thing is, I was doing these videos, but I thought just the videos could probably get me somewhere just by making the videos. But I
Mhm.
had to really start going back to putting in the work. Meaning, like I would say, or reach out to people. Yeah, look at my motivational videos to people that had a lot of influence, but they'll look at me like, "The hell you telling me for?" So but when you look back on it, it was just some things that was like I had the lack of knowledge of. Here
Yeah.
it
Oh
was, a
yeah.
lot of these other people who had knowledge. They had knowledge of how YouTube worked. They had knowledge of how Facebook worked. But you'd be surprised how a lot of people will keep that away from you and never share any type of input or things like that to
I
get you
know
to
they
the
call
next
it
level.
gatekeeping. So guess what? If
Gatekeeping.
if that's a thing, I'm the worst one. Because let me learn something. I'm telling
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. I
am, and let me
appreciate
tell
you.
you, Keenan helped me out tremendously. So whatever he tells me, if I can make it work a little harder for us, I'm back on the phone like Keenan. And why aren't you doing this? Did you know I could do this? We need to be doing this.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you
that is a
have.
whole thing too. And I really feel like that even ties back to that penitentiary mentality that people
Yeah,
have out here, and they don't even know that is
don't even
it's just
know.
a closed-minded way of thinking. Like
Yeah.
something is new and you don't want anyone else to know. You want to just keep it a secret.
Yeah, I
Why?
think that's like some form. That's how society is. Those
Mm-hmm.
who haven't been mind barred. That's how it is now. It's like whatever we have going on, we don't want to tell nobody because they may move more ahead, especially with the type of energy we have. Because we
Yeah.
have drive, and once we
Mm-hmm.
learn something, we're gonna go hard with it. Some people can't
Absolutely.
even like, they'll have a great connection for you. It's a great
Mhm.
connection. They know it. Like, yo, if Sarita gets with this person, I know for a fact, man, her platform will get to another level.
That's
But
right.
just from the resentment in their heart and some of the hatred, they just say, "No, I'm not going to introduce that person. I'm not going to." And that's just how life is. But when you
Mm-hmm.
trust in God, when you trust in your higher power,
That's right.
you know what I'm saying?
Well,
All things are possible. I didn't see it happen.
absolutely. Because let me tell you this, I'm going to be on NBC. And Faith Without Works is dead. So I've been on NBC, LinkedIn, everybody, sending them invites, asking them to be my friend. And then I'm going to slide up in those LinkedIn DMs and tell them, hey, I am your future broadcaster. And I'll tell you a little story before we get off here. And then me and Keno will wrap it up for you. When I was in prison, I used to read the Bible in my newscaster voice. And I would make all the stories crack off. Like David and Bathsheba and how he sent Uriah with the letter talking about, hey, kill me because you was really messing with his woman. And then you had him come to the palace and he was trying to be a solid dude. Like, I cannot go home. I cannot go home. I cannot go home. Let me tell you, you need me to read your news just like that. It was just so much fun using my broadcaster voice. So we start somewhere, but we're never ready to stop. This man's got books. He's about to put them out every day, any day now. You're doing book signings on the book you had, and you are a keynote speaker. Keenan, give us some contact info so when we're ready to book, we can do
Yeah.
it.
Sure, sure. You can reach me on any platform at KeenanHudson.com, whether it be LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all these different places. Feel free to tap in. Keenan Music 27 at gmail.com. You can reach me at that email address. Yeah, you can reach out to me, even if you got to go through Miss Sarita, you let
That's
me
right.
know,
Absolutely.
that'd be great. We appreciate
Absolutely. I
I
want to thank
appreciate
Ann
you.
Thompson Coke. Jumped on and threw us
Mhm.
some love. She was in with me. And
Okay.
Keenan, I just want to tell you once more how appreciative I am that and I met Keenan through LinkedIn platform as well. So,
Mm.
when I get on NBC and I need to come up with my own content, I'm gonna tap into Keenan. He'll have to come on and help me. How about that?
I appreciate that. That'd be a lot of love. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me
Absolutely.
on this platform you have now, because this is definitely your preparation stages for when you do get on NBC.
Yes, that's right. Take
Yeah.
care, audience. Thanks for tuning in, Keenan. Hope to see you soon. I know